Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, kids of all ages. Welcome back to Mr. Herring's fifth grade social studies. I'm on about take 7 or 8 trying to make this video, having lots of difficulties. I think I may have it this time. We're going to find out. Today we are going to be doing a comprehensive test review for the upcoming test on Unit 1 Map Skills. Unit 1 Map Skills talks about using scale, using the compass rose, and legend. We're also going to have sprinkled in a little bit of grid stuff, but we won't do that in this test review. We'll do that tomorrow's test review. Today the format is I do, we do, you do in class, but for the purpose of this presentation and this lesson recorded via me, it's going to be an I do, and then you do on your own the final piece. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, the first lesson is Map of Hopeland. And if I always look at my title, Map of Hopeland. I look at my map, I see a compass rose, I see a legend, I see a scale. I see some cities, I see a forest. I'm telling myself that this is a physical map, I'm sorry, a political map of some sort, mainly because it's got man-made items. So that just gives me a heads up of what kind of map I'm working with. All right. So now I can go ahead and start answering the questions. Number 1 says, what is the scale on this map? Well, the scale is right here. The scale tells me 1 inch equals 2 miles. So I'm going to write that 1 inch equals 2 miles. And I'm going to abbreviate miles just for the sake of time and frustration for me having to do this again. Number 2, there are 4 questions. Now, I can see it's asking me to make a calculation. So I'm going to think about my math skills, and we've talked about this in class too. We're working across disciplines here. If I know that 1 inch is 2 miles, I can go back to my math and say 1 inch is 2 miles. So I make a T chart. That's 2, 3, 4. It looks like it goes to 5, so I'll stop at 5. If 1 is 2 miles, what's my rule? 1 times what equals 2? And it's times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 2 is 10. So I've made myself a little T-chart like I did in math. Now it's easy to answer these questions. First one says half an inch though. It's not on my T-chart, but I know what half of 2 is. If 1 inch is 2 miles, then half of 2 is 1 mile. And then I'll just use my chart to answer the last 3 questions. 1 inch, like my chart says, is 2 miles. 2 inches is 4 miles, and of course 5 inches is 10 miles. Pretty easy. So that's one part of the scale. The second part of scale is actually using a ruler to measure distances. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Number 3 is a little different. I need a ruler. So I give myself a ruler, and it says, how far away is Richmond from Starville? I want this distance right here. Now, I obviously can't measure this curve. I don't have a ruler to do that, so I have to measure air miles here. And if I look at this, let's get rid of that for a second, because I don't really want to see that. It looks to be 1.5 inches. So 1 whole is 2 miles, a half is 1 mile. That's what you told me according to the scale on the T-chart we made. So 2, put those together, plus 1 gives me 3 miles. Okay? Again, it's an inch and a half. 1 inch is 2 miles. A half an inch is 1 mile. Put them together and I get 3 miles. All right? I like that. Number 4 says, how far away is Appleville from Starville? Well, Appleville to Starville, let's go to the next slide here. Again, I can't measure this curve, so I'm just going to measure what they call in real life air miles. And if my ruler was perfectly on dot to dot, it looks to be exactly 3 inches. So 1 inch, you said, is 2 miles. 2 inches is 2 miles. Another inch is 3 miles. 2 miles, I apologize. So each inch is 2 miles. So 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 2, 4, 6 miles. Go back and do that one more time just to clarify. I did misspeak there. So measure from this dot at Starville to this dot at Appleville. So that's 1 inch. That's 2 inches. That's 3 inches. So every inch is 2 miles. This inch is 2 miles, this inch is 2 miles, that inch is 2 miles. For a total of 6 miles. Now, next question I really like a lot. The next question is, this guy Bobby is driving from Appleville to Starville. However, he didn't go directly there. He went by way of Roy and Loyaltown, then to Starville. So he took kind of a long way. Maybe he had some friends to visit. So we have to measure 3 different pieces here. We'll start with Appleville to Roy. That's this north piece right here. He went north to Roy. This looks to be 1 whole inch, which is 2 miles, and a half an inch, which is 1 mile. So this piece is, you said it, 3 miles. Then he drove east to Loyaltown. So east to Loyaltown. So my ruler's a little backwards, but that's okay. This is 1 inch. That is 2 miles. Here's another inch. That is also 2 miles. And then finally a third inch for another 2 miles. So 2, 4, 6 miles is this piece. And then his last piece from Loyaltown to Starville is exactly 1 inch. So that's 2 miles. So if I put all of these together, 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 2 is, that's right, 11-mile trip. Definitely took the long way. But that's okay. All right. Question number 5. Number 5. How far is the airport from Loyaltown? So David is at the airport and needs to drive to Loyaltown. How many miles is this? Well, here's the, I've got to go to got to find the airport first, right? We've got to find the airport. Look at my legend. Airport is this symbol. So let's find this symbol. It's right here. So he drives from the airport to Starville, and then he has to drive from Starville to Loyaltown. Well, this first piece is 1 whole inch, which is 2 miles, and a half an inch, which is 1 mile. So this piece is 3 miles. Then he goes from Starville to Loyaltown. This measurement looks to be 1 whole inch, or 2 miles. I put those together, and I get 5 miles. All right. Good. All right, the last 4 questions are now Compass Rose questions. I'm sure I'm on the right slide here. I am. So this map's compass rose only provides the direction north. On the compass rose, label the rest of the cardinal directions. Well, we know this. If it's opposite of north is south, and if you use the acronym that we've learned in class, we all came up with several. Never eat soft watermelon, never eat soggy waffles, regardless, in the southwest, northeast, southwest. Okay? Number 8, the mountain that is northeast from Starville is called Mount Zeus. Well, let's see. Here's Starville, and it says northeast would be this direction. So this direction, that's this right here. Label it on the map. Oh, so we just got to label it Mount Zeus. So Mount Zeus, that's northeast. So here's my starting point. There's my Starville. If I go to that direction, that's northeast. I go that direction, I find that mountain range. All right. And feel free to stop or pause at any time if I'm going fast or you want to rewind it and hear it again. Welcome to do that. Number 9 says the mountain that is southeast from Richmond is called Mount Orange. So southeast is this direction. So here's Richmond. I start here. And southeast is this direction. So I go that direction. So this right here must be Mount Orange. Pardon my G there. Okay. Number 10 is Crystal Forest east or west of Loyaltown. Well, here's Loyaltown. Crystal Forest. is right here. And it's this direction. So if my center point is Loyaltown, I go that direction. What direction do I travel? The answer is west. All right? Now in class, the next activity would be a we do it all together, but because it's a presentation, my lesson, you're by yourself or you're watching at home or in class, this is going to be an I do again. Just follow along and try to anticipate my answer. Maybe pause, answer it, and then play the video to see if you got it right. So now we're going to look at map of Greenstone. Notice the roads are no longer straight roads, so everything we measure is going to be a air measurement for the most part. Here's my title. Here's my compass rose. Here's my scale. Here's my legend. Very important items on the map I need to be aware of. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. Number one, what is the scale on this map? Again, 1 inch equals 2 miles. Alright? It's just like the last map. Half an inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 5 inches. It's identical. So if I do my T-chart again, 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 2 is 10. I make my T-chart. My rule is times 2. Half an inch, if 1 mile is 2 inch, if 1 inches is 2 miles, then half an inch is 1 mile. 1 inch is 2 miles according to my chart. 2 inches is 4 miles according to my chart. And 5 inches is 10 miles. All right? Those are easy and fun. Number 3, how far away is Aros from D? Again, we need our ruler. Here is Aros. Here is D. It looks to be exactly 2 inches. We know that 1 inch is 2 miles. Another inch is 2 miles. So a total of 4 miles. All right. Number 4, how far away is D from Pebbleville? Here's D. Here's Pebbleville. So let's change the ruler. If you want to pause the video and measure it yourself and come up with an answer before I give you the answer, you can. So let's measure it. 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and a half. So this inch is 2 miles, this inch is 2 miles, this inch is 2 miles, but this half is only 1. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this is 7 miles. All right. I like question number 5. It's a little bit outside the box. And if you're not careful, you'll get tricked. It says, is Mount Willard more or less than 1 mile? Not 1 inches, 1 mile. That means it must be at least more than a half an inch, right? Because a half of 2 miles is 1 mile, and 2 miles is 1 inch. So half of that is a half an inch. So here's Aros, here's Mount Willard. It looks to be exactly 1.5. So this inch is 2 miles. This inch is 1 mile, for a total of 3 miles. So is it more or less than 1 mile? That's right. The answer is more. It is more than 1 mile. All right. Now 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are compass rose, essentially compass rose questions with a couple. I think there's some labeling there. But let's look at question number 6. Let's get rid of this ruler. Which city is east of Devon Forest? Well, here's Devon Forest. First of all, I need to go to my grid or my legend and find out what is a city? What symbol? Oh, a dot. Okay. Secondly, east. What direction is east? East is this direction to the right. So east. So my question is, which city is east of Devon Forest? Here's Devon Forest. I go that direction. I find what city? The answer is Pebbleville. Okay. Question number 7, is Devon Forest north or south of Jewel Woods? Here's Devon Forest. Here's Jewel Woods. Is Devon Forest, if I'm at Jewel Woods, which direction do I travel to get to Devon Forest? Do I go north or south? The answer is I go up, kind of, it's actually northwest, but we'll just say north because that's what it's asking us, north or south. And the answer is Devon Forest is north of, and remember I told you you can cross out of and make it from Jewel Woods and get north. Okay. Number 8, which mountain is east of D? I've got to find D. Here's D. Which mountain is east of D? Is that what it says? East of D? It does. So which mountain is east of D? These are mountains. This is kind of a tricky question because these mountains aren't labeled, are they? These mountains are not labeled. This is Mount Ord over here. That one is labeled. That one is east because this direction is east. So I'm gonna say, if I had to guess, well, there's one or two things here. Either this question is misworded, they made a mistake in not labeling these mountains, or they meant which mountain is west, or D is east of what mountain. So if you go that route, Mount Ord is east of D. Mount Willard, D is east of Mount Willard. So let's just forget about that question because it's not worded correctly. Finally, when there are many mountains clustered together, it is called mountain range. The mountain range that is north of D is called the Mighties. Label it on the map. Well, here's D. North of D, that means I go north. That's these mountains. So these are the Mighties. That's a fun one. I like those kind of questions. Number 10, I'm going to get rid of this because I got a feeling this is going to come back around. Number 10 says the mountain range that is southeast of D is called Great Stony Range. All right, here's D. Southeast is down and to the right. That's this direction. That's this direction. That's these mountains. So those mountains are Great Stony Range. So we'll label these Great Stony Range. And I think question number 8, I really do think it meant Mount Ord, because this is a mountain range, and that's the mountain. So I think number 8 was probably asking us about Mount Ord, but I wouldn't hold that against you because it's kind of a confusing question. All right. Okay, so that is the we do and the I do all together. The next activity, you will answer these questions on your own. It's identical to the other ones, but be careful. Look at your scale. It's a different scale this time, so be careful there. Remember to look at your legend, find your compass rose, label it, do all those things, and you'll answer those questions on your own, and we'll see how you are. Okay? I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to go back and watch it again if you need to, and see where you are struggling or where you need some help, and come and see me and ask any questions that you have before the test, guys. I will see you later. Have a great afternoon, and goodbye.